everyone, TomWasHere, back at it with another card grading video. It has been a little while since we did some card grading, and we stumbled across this company and actually was kind of on the demise of another company. You see, when I had mentioned that I was going to use a bunch of different companies to grade cards, I did mean it. And late last year, I sent cards off to a grading company that as soon as I sent them off, the excuses started. And then suddenly, over the course of this past year, they ended up going out of business. Now, I did get my cards back, but birthed out of that was this other grading company who ran into the same issue with the grading company I sent to, where they sent them cards and they ended up getting, kind of losing their money as well. So they decided they're going to start a company. And that's what this is. This is MPE grading. I believe it's the newest grader on the market as far as I know. And they are veteran owned, and they are offering, or they were offering at least when I submitted it, $5 slabs to get cars slabbed up. I believe that price has gone up since I have ordered to about $7 a card. But the one thing is that they do offer a discount on prepaying. So you end up paying, I think, like $6.50, something like that. But I ended up paying $5. But even at $6.50, there, it's pretty solid value, because the card market, it seems, is going through a thing where it seems almost everybody's all about the flip. And there's not really grading card companies that are kind of set up for collectors to just grade the stuff that they want to get graded. MPE is definitely set up for the collectors. I'm not saying you can't flip anything from MPE, but I'm saying the idea of this is that, say you have cards in your collection that, you like in your collection, but they sit in boxes in a top loader, and, they're any elements that can get in there, dust or anything, fingerprints, stuff like that, whatever. But would it be cool to have some of those cards slabbed up? And MPE kind of definitely falls into that category where you can send them off to them. And the turnaround time for me, they say it's 5 to 15 days. I got these back lightning quick. I mean, I would say within probably about 5 business days, I had a return to me, which is pretty impressive. So we're going to get into this. This is a 10-card blind reveal, and I'll be honest, my short track memory, I looked at the cards and I was like, these are the cards I'm going to send in. And I promptly forgot what the vast majority of them are. So they're going to be, a surprise to me as well. But let's get into this. This is a 10-card blind reveal of the newest grading company on the market, MPE Grading, on TomWasHere.
What's good, everybody? It's Gary V from B-Friends. You're watching TomWasHere.
Okay, so we got ourselves a little, I'm going to cut this open here, a little 10-card, because I forgot to take the label off. A 10-card blind reveal, see what's doing, see what's happening here. Now, I tried to send a wide variety of different things. I didn't want to send the, kind of the same stuff, I always like to send random things. So I try to test them on all the elements. I try to test them on numbered cards, on vintage cards, on autograph cards, on, thicker cards. Now, they did say they can't do any thicker than 35 point. So I think I avoided the thicker card this time around, but almost every other thing is represented, which is graded cards, graded cards, which is numbered cards, vintage cards, your standard not standard sports cards as well. So a lot of different stuff is in there. Okay, all right. All right, so we'll do it this way. Like I said, I'm gonna try to show what I can here. Okay. Your first one here is a card from my childhood. Now, this wasn't the one I owned as a child, because I'm sure that one's beat, because I had no concept of keeping cards pristine in its day. But this is the Ken Griffey Jr. 1991 Dream Team card. I definitely had some of these. I had friends that had some of these. And I was like, wouldn't this be cool to get slabbed up a bit to see what it looks like here? And we have on this one here an 8.5. Okay, 8.5. You know, for a card 1991, I thought it looked pretty good. Now it could be a centering thing. I guess the corners are a little soft, but the idea is that I want to send cards. I want to see how they look graded. I want to see kind of what this company's grading techniques are, what they're kind of focused on, whether it's centering, you know, because every grading company kind of has that one thing that they really like, you know, this one's centering, this one's this one's that. But an 8.5, not bad for a Griffey 91. So I will take that there. Okay, this next one here, like I said, not super exciting by any stretch, but I am a 1983 kid, and here's a Pops from 1983. This is 83 Donruss Willie Stargell. Like I said, kind of at the end of his career. It might even be the last year. When did he retire? Was it roughly the last year of Pops? But 83 Donruss Willie Stargell here, and it got a 7. Okay. All right. I do notice the little marks on the card and stuff like that. It looked pretty good as far as corners wise for an 83. So I don't think it was that, but definitely there's some, there's some stuff on it. So like I said, normally the idea of everybody is to send in like, oh, this is a guaranteed 10 card. I don't do that, at least when trekking out new card companies. I like to send a bunch of different stuff to kind of see how they grade it. Is really what I'm going for here. Okay, so this next card here is a 2024 Topps Paul Skeens Topps Black Gold. Really love this set of cards. I loved it when I was a kid. I love when I pulled a Topps Black Gold card, and knowing the Skeens had one of these, I was like, you know what? Let's send it in. Let's see what it's doing here. And it got a 9.5. 9.5, not the beautiful 10 that I was hoping, but that's okay. 9.5 is pretty good for that one here, and that is fine. So we got a 9.5 on the Black Gold. Okay, all right. So the one thing I can say, at least so far, is that they are grading them pretty legit. So this next one here, I don't feel... In fact, I know I'm not going to have a high grade on this one. This one is a 1959 Fleer Three Stooges card. I saw this on eBay for a reasonable price, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I've been looking for, like kind of offbeat cards, and Three Stooges is certainly one of those. You can see the centering's not great. I also have mentioned in several videos, and I'll mention it here, I never really like how horizontal cards get slabbed. I just think they don't look right, but I will make exceptions if I feel the card is pretty cool and worthwhile, and this is certainly the case here. The original Three Stooges card, 1959, got a 3.5. That one, understandable, completely understandable. The corners are soft, the centering is way off. It's 1959. It's a 1959 card. So I didn't expect anything out of that, but also cool to have it slabbed. You know what I mean? And cool to have it slabbed for under $5. And I haven't mentioned it, the slabs look pretty nice. I like the label. The labels look pretty cool. They have a, now I haven't checked this, but they have this QR code on the back. I should probably check that out to check it and see what that looks like there. But as far as, as far as a 3.5 is concerned, not bad. Still is the color and everything. I think it looks pretty cool. Happy to have it slabbed. So, this next one here is a from the 1999 Twilight Zone collection. It's a Rod Serling card, and ever since I saw a Rod Serling card in, I think, Panini Golden Age, and I was like, man, if I ever got a Rod Serling card, I'm gonna just get it slabbed up, because I'm a big fan of the Twilight Zone. If you're wondering where I am any given New Year's, it's generally sitting at home watching the Twilight Zone marathon on Sci-Fi, because do love a good Twilight Zone. And Rod Serling, you know, man, the stuff that he created as the you know, some of the stories that Twilight Zone told were just far ahead of their time. But very, very cool to have a Rod Serling card officially slabbed up. And I do know that there, you know, there were some edges. It's a dark card. Some of the edges were not great. Some of the corners weren't great. I knew this wasn't going to get a 10, and it got an 8. So it got an 8 there. Okay. All right. So that's fine, and that's perfectly fine. It's still a cool card, and I'm happy to have it. Okay. This next card here, showing my Pittsburgh fandom with the Skeens, with a Starjoel, is a TJ Watt. This was a recent acquisition, and sometimes I will go recent acquisitions over other things. So I was curious to see, because this is a numbered card, this is 2 out of 99. It's TJ Watt Blue. I was curious to see if their label made any reference to the fact that it's a numbered card, and it does not, which PSA does not. And I know SGC does. So it's kind of a split bag as to what grading company will mention anything about having the numbered cards on the label itself. They don't, and that's fine. But this is 2 of 99 here. Very, very cool card, and it got a 9.5 as well. The elusive 10. The elusive 10. Are there going to be any 10s in the bunch? Hard to say. But happy to get a 9.5. You know, I'm okay with that for sure. But man, the 10 is proving elusive with MPE, which is fine. Like I said, I like that they're kind of a rigid grader. I have no problem with that. Because like I said, the rumor for some of these companies that are starting out new is they'll just give you, you know, if it's that cheap of a card, they'll just give you 10s across the board. That's not the case in my experience. So, this next card here, Macho Man Randy Savage. I actually forgot that I submitted another Macho Man. The idea of it, I was like, you know what? I was like, Macho Man was probably my favorite. You know, definitely my favorite more as an adult than as a child. He was one of my favorites as a child, but of course I was, you know, the kid like all kids that was like Hulk Hogan. You know, Hulk Hogan was the big thing. But as you grow an adult and you watch some of the promos and you watch the matches, you're like, Macho Man was the man. Like, he was really, really good. So anytime I chance to check out a company, I will generally throw them a Macho Man Randy Savage card just out of curiosity. And it got Macho Man's the first 10. The cream of the crop. This legend here. Macho Man, the cream of the crop, gets a 10. Some respect to the legend. Okay. Very cool. So we have, what, 3 cards to go here? This next card here was a card I had. Oh, these are flipped over the opposite way. This next card here was a card I had and was sitting on. Had it for a while. And then he became a Pittsburgh Steeler. So it was interesting. I was like, you know what? As far as, you know, sending in a signed card, this would be a cool one to get slabbed up, because he technically has not taken an official snap yet for the Steelers, but it's the Steelers' 4th round pick, and surprised they got him in the 4th round. Jack Sawyer seems like the next great Steelers linebacker. That may be a bold statement, but man, he was really good at Ohio State, and had to check this out and see, and it got a 9.5. 9.5. So is it the, yeah, I guess there's a little bit of colors on the corner, something like that. But that's okay. Like I said, a 9.5, still really cool to have that one slabbed up. Now there is a local card show at my collectible store that I go to, Remix, the Steel City Galleries, and I already had people eyeing that one up, and that was prior to it being slabbed. So, you know, I have a feeling they'll be eyeing it up some more. So, we got 2 more cards to go, and this one is from T2. It's from the Terminator 2 card set, 1991. I had a bunch of these cards growing up, and I'm like, man, I'm looking for one in particular that would be fun to have a slab in, just for funsies, just to see. And this one here, the Human Casualties zero card is a 9, which is not bad for a 91. I mean, I'll take that on a 91. I did see this one corner. I didn't actually notice this corner looks softer than it was. But that was actually pack pulled. That was out of a pack I got at the National last year in Cleveland. And I was like, you know what? I was like, you know, that's kind of a fun one. We're just going to put that up there and, you know, just get it slabbed up. I said I wanted to try them out with a bunch of different stuff. We tried an auto, we tried a numbered, we tried wrestling cards, we tried non-traditional cards, we tried old vintage Stooges cards. So why not? Why not? So the last card here is a card I found, I think, on eBay. And it's a Wayne's World Star Picks card. And, you know, I was like, oh, wouldn't it be awesome to get a Wayne's World card for fun? This is from 1992 SNL edition of Star Picks. And if I ever see a box of this, I think I'll open it up to check it out. Because the 90s era of SNL was my favorite. And it got a 9. Okay. All right. So 110 in the bunch, and it's the Macho Man, Randy Savage. But the rest of them, you got a few 9.5s, some 9s, some 8s, a 3.5 on the 1959, an 8.5 on the Griffey. You know, no complaints. No complaints here. Curious, like I said, I will definitely submit more again because the slab's actually very nice. Really cool. The label, I like the kind of that mirroring effect on the label. I think is pretty cool. And the slabs look pretty good. Pretty clean slabs. You know, they feel the part. They don't feel overly. They're definitely, I would say, more on the line with ones like Tag or CGC. They're definitely smaller slabs for sure than anything kind of like the larger GC versions, but I think they look pretty cool. And I will definitely be using them again on future cards that I would want preserved and not necessarily, you know, just kind of sitting in a box in a top loader where they're prone to dust and all this other stuff. It'd be cool to have things that are slabbed up and kind of locked up in slabs. And like I said, happy to have these ones added to my collection here. So as far as the collectible aspect of, you know, if you're a collector and you have cards and you're like, man, it'd be cool to get some of these cards graded, cool to get some of these cards slabbed up, then you could definitely do a lot worse than MPE. I think MPE is a really cool company. They're getting stuff back very fast. Like I said, veteran owned, and they have, you know, probably one of the better deals in the card grading thing for collectors, for sure. But that'll do it for my 10 card blind reveal of MPE grading. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you are new here, make sure to like, share, subscribe. Like support me on Patreon like John Bailey, like Brett Persing, like Fan, you can do so. Link is in the description below. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt, a TomWasHere t-shirt, you can do so at Spreadshirt, as well as links to my eBay store, Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok, whatnot, Arena Club. The links are in the description below. But when it comes to the next card grading video, or the next video in general, we will see you soon. But until then, bye everyone.